Now we move into the 1980s, and as we've been rediscovering and looking at David Bowie, this is an artist who never quite stands still. Now, he had proven to himself the artistic merit of moving to Berlin and doing the Berlin Trilogy albums. He was actually quite pleased with those, but they weren't very successful. So he decides in the 1980s to change the sound again and try to make albums that are much more commercial. And that's exactly what he does. Let's go find out about David Bowie in the 80s. Let's drop the needle. Now, like I said, Bowie was artistically satisfied with the Berlin Trilogy albums, but he wanted to become commercial again. And that's exactly what he does with his first album in the 1980s called Scary Monsters and Super Creeps. Unlike the Berlin records, on this record, Bowie spends time fine-tuning both the lyrics and the arrangements. He's actually joined by Robert Fripp of King Crimson on guitar, and Roy Britton of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band on piano, and Pete Townsend appears on guitar for one of the songs. I like the title track, the single Ashes to Ashes, Teenage Wildlife, and Because You're Young. The album tops UK charts and reached number 12 in the US. Following this up in 1981, Bowie decides to do a collaboration with the group Queen, and together they record a song called Under Pressure. And Under Pressure is a big hit, but Bowie is about to even top it with his next album, which is a phenomenal hit, which is called Let's Dance. Two of the hit singles had great music videos made. Let's Dance, showing a young Australian Aboriginal couple, and the China Girl video, showing an actress and Bowie, both partially naked, cavorting on a beach. Needless to say, the video was a hit. I Like China Girl, Let's Dance, Modern Love, and Without You. It reaches number 3, both in the UK and the US. Let's Dance has sold over 10 million albums worldwide, making it David Bowie's best-selling album of all time. So naturally, Bowie mounts a tour to support the album, and the tour is called Serious Moonlight. And it really ends up being kind of a greatest hits tour for Bowie, and it is massively successful. So naturally now, the record company wants a follow-up. But once again, Bowie is getting burned out. And he has actually said he's found that he was now appealing to people who buy Phil Collins records. And he even said that worse than that, he was getting to the point where he really didn't know who his audience was, and he didn't really care about them. Singles are Blue Jean, Tonight, and Loving the Alien. He covers the Beach Boys' God Only Knows, and even Tina Turner appears on Tonight. Critics did not like it, but it reaches number 1 in the UK. But Bowie does not tour to support it. In 1985, Bowie appears at the Live Aid shows in both locations. He appears live in Wembley Stadium, but then appears in a pre-recorded clip for the US portion that he and Mick Jagger did together, where they covered Martha and the Vandellas' hit, Dancin' in the Streets. In 1986, he appears in the film Absolute Beginners, and then he writes 5 songs for another movie he's in, which is the great and a little bit off-center and weird Jim Henson movie called Labyrinth. But in thinking about his last album, Tonight, David has said he didn't really like it, so he wanted his next album to be a return to rock and roll. And that's exactly what he does. The album is called Never Let Me Down. I like Day In, Day Out, Time Will Crawl, Never Let Me Down. And then there's the weird Too Dizzy. Now, critics did not like this album, saying the production was way overblown. Even Bowie says he doesn't like it. In fact, in subsequent pressings, Too Dizzy is deleted from the tracks because Bowie hated it. Peter Frampton plays guitar and sitar on the album, And Mickey Rourke does a mid-song rap on Shining Star, Making My Love. But the album was successful in the UK, reaching number 6, but in the US it could only get to 34. To support this album, Bowie mounts the most expensive and longest tour he's ever done, called the Glass Spider Tour. It is an elaborate production. It uses video projections, and it has this huge spider over the top of the stage that takes 300 people 4 days to assemble all the elements that are on the stage. In spite of all that, the tour was poorly received. Everyone said it was overblown and pretentious. But over 6 million fans worldwide did see it. But once again, Bowie says he's feeling trapped by the persona that he's created. He does not want to be a rock star for stadiums, and that's exactly what he's become. So he decides he's going to form a new band. He gets together with guitarist Reeves Gabriel and creates the band, which is called Tin Machine. It's a hard rock band, and it also includes a bassist and a drummer, who were brothers, and also the sons of comedian Soupy Sales. They were Tony and Hunt Sales. Tin Machine didn't really last that long, from 1989 to 1991. Their first album is called Tin Machine, and the critics loathed it. But it did reach number 3, and the new band went out on tour. But during the tour, audiences had trouble seeing David Bowie just as a member of the band, and the follow-up singles that Tin Machine released were all flops. In 1992, David marries the supermodel Iman, and he starts work on a second Tin Machine album. But you can tell his heart's not really in it. And partway through, he abandons that idea and goes out on a successful solo tour. David comes back and decides to finish the second Tin Machine album, which is called Tin Machine 2. It's Bowie's first album not to hit the top 20 in 20 years. Then he releases a live album called Tin Machine Live, Oy vey baby, but it failed. David finally decides to dissolve Tin Machine and go back to being just a solo artist. Good choice, David. Now, as usual, I've created a Spotify playlist where you can listen to some of the songs that I've talked about in this episode. And here's the link, and I'll also put it in the comments below. In the 1980s and into 1991, David Bowie only released 4 solo albums. But of course, one of them was the monster hit, Let's Dance. And then he releases 3 not very successful albums with Tin Machine. But then he decides that, boy, he's going to reconcentrate on his solo career. And so as we move forward in the next episode, you can bet with David Bowie there's going to be some changes. Hope you're enjoying this. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep a rockin'. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. And you can also leave me a comment down below, and I'll respond to you. If you subscribe, we'll let you know when future episodes come out.